It's Talk with your host, Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, alright here. Oh, Simply Straight Talk.
Today on Simply Straight Talk, we are asking the question, if they cheat, should I take them back? Now, we all have experienced heartbreak at some point in our life, but what happens when your partner cheats? Do you take them back or walk away? There is no easy answer to this question, but Reggie wants to offer some advice from his personal experience. All right, Reggie, your mic is live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, just start the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Simply Straight Talk Show. This is your host, Reggie Maddox, and today we're going to be talking about cheaters, people cheating. Should you stay? Should you go? Should you give it one more chance, or should you just put them right out the door? Now, when it comes to cheating, everybody's going to have a different viewpoint on this. Everybody's going to see things differently. You might have people that agree in some areas, but then in other areas, they're going to be like, no, I'm not feeling you on that. I don't see it that way. Because when you're talking about cheating, you're talking about the emotions of the heart. You're talking about somebody's heart being affected and somebody feeling like they have been betrayed. Now, another thing about cheating that you have to deal with is the visual aspect of the person who was cheated on is going to have. Now, nobody wants to think about their spouse made with somebody else. But when you find out that your spouse is cheating, or when you find out that the person, or you even suspect the person that you're with is cheating with somebody else, one of the most common things that's going to happen is, you're going to try not to picture it. You're going to try not to picture who they was with. But for some reason, your mind just happens to go there. Your mind just happens to take you there. And it's a place that sometimes you really just don't want to go. Nobody wants to go there. Nobody wants to get hurt. But unfortunately, we do have people in this world who feel like, they can't stay faithful for any reason. They can't stay faithful. And they're going to have every excuse in the book of why they cheated, why they went to somebody else, why they thought this other person, was there either for a moment or for whatever time period. Then you get into the other aspect of cheating of, oh, well, all men can't be faithful. And then you got men saying, well, women cheat more than men. They're just better at it. You know what? I don't know why it has to be a gender issue. It's not a gender issue, because if you're a man married to a woman and a woman married to a man, well, put it like this. If your man cheats with a woman, that means a woman is cheating too. If your wife is cheating with another man, that means that man is cheating too. So I think it's safe to say that both men and women are probably pretty bad about cheating. So I think it's equal. So I don't think you can say that men cheat more than women. Okay, how can they cheat more than women if they're cheating with men, if they're cheating with women? So doesn't it kind of balance the books? You know what I'm saying? So how can you say that women cheat more than men if they are cheating with men? Now, we're talking about heterosexual relationships, okay? I'm not getting into that I'm not going into all that other stuff. But what I'm saying is, so if you got a relationship where your spouse is out there cheating, just face the fact that, you know what? It's not a gender thing. It's the fact that your spouse stepped out on you. Is it right? No. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. But I think we got to get back to the question of the show. Do you stay with someone who's cheated with you, or do you leave? Do you kick them out, or do you walk out? So that's what we want to talk about today, because that is something that everybody experiences at some point in their life. Hopefully, if you're very fortunate, you just happen to meet the right person and you're never put through that. I'll be honest with you. I have been through that twice, and it does affect you. It affects how you see people. It affects how you think. It affects how you go into your next relationship. Because when you start seeing behavior patterns that this other person that you was with exhibited, part of you is going to be like, oh, okay, here we go again. Oh, she trying to step out again. He trying to step out on me. So you have to be careful to make sure that you don't carry that into your next relationship. But we're going to get into that too. But for right now, when we talk about cheating, people have different aspects of cheating. Now, we all know what the physical cheating is. When you take off your clothes and you get into bed and you do whatever you do. Get that. Now, the other thing about it is some people think flirting is cheating. That if you're in a relationship with somebody, but you flirt with somebody else, they consider that to be cheating. Now, some people think the mental aspect is cheating. It's like they see somebody, they haven't done anything with them. Maybe they haven't said anything to them, but mentally, they've been kind of really thinking about the person, just kind of imagine what it would be like to be with them. So some people consider that cheating. In a way, I guess I kind of do too, because if you're taking it to a romantic level in your mind, that it's kind of like if the opportunity comes, yes, you're going to take it. But the other thing is, you have to ask yourself, okay, if your mate cheated, was it a one-night stand or was it over a long period of time? Has it been something that's been ongoing? Now, to some people, it doesn't make a difference. If you cheated, you cheated. It does not make a difference whether it was somebody and y'all just had 30 to 40 minutes of fun or somebody that you've been seeing for 6 months or 5 months or a year. If you cheated, you cheated. And people are going to look at it differently because some people will say, you know what, if it's a one-night stand thing and just kind of happened, I can kind of deal with it. But if it was something that was ongoing, then I feel like there's more emotions connected with it. Now, here's my feelings about a person cheating. Because this is where I find it hard to believe. And this is whether it's a one-night stand or a long-term thing. If you say that you're in love with me, and let's just say that, I'm staying at home and you're going out because it's supposed to be a girls' night, and you go out and you've been having drinks, and all of a sudden you end up at this guy's house, y'all do it, you come back, and somehow I find out, or you end up telling me like, hey, this happened, I was drunk, I can't believe I did it. Here is my mindset now. Some people say if you're under the influence and you cheat where you was drunk, you wasn't really aware of what you was doing. But here's my thoughts about that. So you mean to tell me that you was out drinking at a bar. This guy started talking to you. You're talking to him. So you're drinking. You get in your cars. You drive all the way to his house, or you drive all the way to a hotel. You walk inside, go to the bathroom, take off your clothes, get undressed, get into bed. And you mean to tell me at not one time, even in that 10 to 15 minute drive or that walk out to get to where you was going, it never crossed your mind to say, wow, Reggie's at home right now waiting on me, being faithful. I can't do this. I shouldn't be doing this. I can't do this. I won't do this. But you do it anyway. See, that's why for me, the whole thing about somebody being drunk or under the influence doesn't work. So if you come back and tell me that you was drinking and this accidentally happened, well, we just accidentally breaking up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying what it is, man. We got to be real. This Simply Straight Talk. You got to be real about it. So that's just my feelings about it. But, there's things you do have to discuss. Like what are some of the reasons that a person may cheat? Because you have to look at the fact of, a person may cheat because they feel like at home, she doesn't really show. When I tell you what's the perfect example. The movie Fences. Now, it's Denzel Washington and Viola Davis. And spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie. But if you ain't seen the movie by now, I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, Denzel Washington is this guy. He's a garbage truck driver. And he's married to Viola Davis in the movie. And they have this house, and he's been going out. And basically, he ends up telling her one day that he got another lady pregnant because he had been seeing her. And when they got into an argument, she was asking why. She was saying, you should have been coming home. You should have been bringing everything to me. I'm giving you all of me. What are you doing? He told her that, when I was with her, I could laugh. I never laughed that hard like I did with her. He said, I wasn't worried about no roof. I wasn't worried about no car. I wasn't worried about no bills. I could just relax. Now, Viola Davis didn't understand that. And I'm not agreeing with what he did, but I want you to open your minds to something. And this can apply to men and women. It's just not for men. I want you to think about this. How do you treat your mate when they come home? Is your home life more stressful than their work life? Like when you come home, is there any time that your mate can come home and you're not talking about bills? You're not talking about one of the kids getting a bad report card or acting up in school. You're not talking about negative things and all the problems that's going on. Is there a time where you just actually enjoy each other? And do you actually have to say, like, you know what? We're going to set times. This is the time we discuss household issues and this, and this. And we get it sorted out on this day, so we're not dragging this out throughout the week. And I think that's the mistake a lot of couples make. You know, they create a home environment that where a person doesn't feel comfortable, and you should feel comfortable at home. You know, it could be a man doing it to his wife. You know, she could be at home thinking like, you know what, or she could come from work, and as soon as he come home, he's going in. He could be going in about his day. He could be going in about how he feels she doesn't do this, or she's spending too much money on this, or we need to cut back on this. And, you know, he's creating an environment to where she's like, wow, you know what? Whenever I come home, it's drama, it's issues. He doesn't talk to me. He talks at me. But when she goes to work, it might be this guy who just talks and makes her laugh. And to her, it's like refreshing. The same thing how it was with Denzel Washington with the other lady. Even though he loved Viola Davis, he knew she was a good woman. Mentally, he found it refreshing to be somewhere where he didn't have to be worried and felt stressed, to have to be so concerned about what has to be done. And a woman can go through the same thing to where she has a man that's stressing her about bills, about this, about that. And, you know, it's just so much. It's so much. So anybody can feel like, man, I can't take this. This is too much. And because when you start getting into cheating, okay, there's always the after effects of cheating. You know, you have to deal with the fact that the person who's been cheated on, I honestly believe this, emotionally, they want to punish you because they want you to somehow experience the pain they felt when they found out that you hurt them. Emotionally, you hurt them. So they want you to feel some form of that pain as much as they can give it. So that's why everything becomes a major issue after you have cheated on somebody. That's why somebody might be really just angry, blow up for no reason. I mean, you might lay in the bed next to them and you guys might decide, okay, we're going to work it out. And you lay in the bed, you try to touch them, they scoot over, they bump your arm. You try to come up to hug them, they walk away. You try to sit next to them, they look at you. Or maybe you go out to a friend's house, you say, you know what, let's just go out, relax, talk to some friends and take our minds off everything. And they can be sitting there. A woman can say, hey, how you doing? And she's giving you the look like she wants to rip your throat out. And it's the same thing. It could be her sister speaking to you. It could be a man where your cousin or your brother could walk up to her and say, hey, how you doing? Good to see you, and give her a hug. And he's looking at you like, oh, so now you want my cousin. Because that's just the emotional effects of someone cheating on you. You're going to have that trust issue, and you're going to have the fact that it's in your head. It is not something that you can just wipe out. It is there. So it takes time to actually push all that aside and get past it. So that brings us back to the question. If someone cheats on you, should you keep them? Should you leave them? Should you stay? Or should they hit the door? And that's the thing about it. That's the difficult question. Because you got to consider the facts. Are there kids involved? How much are you guys tied to each other financially? So there's so many things that can play into it. Now, if you're just a single couple, you're not really married, you can easily just say, you know what, deuces, I'm out, do whatever. So you just got to look at stuff like that. You got to take all that into consideration. But we're getting ready to come back and take a little quick break. And then we come back, we're going to find out, what does it take to survive infidelity? What does it take to survive knowing that your mate has been with somebody else? And can you do it? Should you do it? We're going to try to give you some tools to help you get through that if you're going through that. But we're really going to try to talk you out of not doing that, period, so you don't have to go through it. But hey, we're going to share some tools with you. You guys are listening to the Simply Straight Talk Show, and we'll be right back with more on today's topic. Should I stay? Should I go? Cheaters? Y'all got to go.
We'll be back with your host, Reggie, on Simply Straight Talk.
Hey, are you looking for some great music, upbeat and with a positive voice? Well, the song I Stand With You is exactly what you need. This timeless song has a pop version sung by Audrey Carmel. And a reggae version sung by General Steele, now known as Revelation.
Now I know some days you may feel blue, Lord. Trust in your greatness to see you through.
These songs are now available on iTunes and other digital platforms for download. Don't miss out. Get your copy today.
Give life your best and I know.
Free your mind, free your voice right here on Simply Straight Talk.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Simply Straight Talk Show, to the second half of the show with your host, Reggie Maddox. And today, we are talking about cheating people, cheating men, cheating women. If you find out that somebody you're with is cheating, should you stay or should you go? Now, this is always a difficult decision. And by no means am I trying to make it seem like that it's easy, it's an easy choice. Like, this is just something that you can get over in like 2 or 3 days or a couple of weeks. So we want to discuss this. So I want to give out some reasons now that I really want to kind of help people that if you have been cheated on or currently you just found out that your mate has cheated on you, let's discuss some things that could possibly help you get through it and make a decision. Now, I would never try to make the decision for you. I'm just going to give you some ideas about what you can do to help move past it, be it you stay together or you go your separate ways. All right. Now, first off, let me say this. If you are with someone and they have cheated and you take them back, you cannot throw it up in their face every time you get mad or every time you feel like you see him talking to somebody. You can't, because you're going to drive yourself crazy. If you took him back or took her back, there needs to be an understanding that they are now understanding that they did wrong. They're going to be accountable, and it's their responsibility to ensure that it doesn't happen again. Okay? Now, being that said, if you take them back, that's like you saying, listen, I know you made a mistake. I don't like it, but I'm going to take you back. But if you keep throwing it in their face every time you feel uncomfortable or you don't like something you see or you're assuming something, you're going to push them right back out there. But I'm not taking the responsibility off of the person that cheated. They have an obligation to make sure that they remain faithful and also that they don't give you a reason to feel that way. The other thing is patience. If you're dealing with infidelity and somebody has cheated on you, both of you are going to have to be patient. The person who was cheated on is going to have to be patient and understanding that, okay, he's trying to win my trust back. I got to be patient with this. She's trying to win my trust back. I got to be patient with this. I got to be patient with myself to where I am not accusing them of everything every day, or I'm not letting myself go back into that place to where I'm imagining that something is going on. Because you got to understand, you are dealing with this emotionally and mentally. So you're still going to have images. You're still going to have emotions that's going to have to be flushed out. So it's going to take some time. It's not going to be overnight. And that is something that the person who committed the infidelity has to understand. You messed up. You broke this person's heart. You broke their trust. Your body is supposed to be sacred to the person you're with. And when you share that with somebody else, you're going to have to understand. You're going to have to deal with the repercussions that, you broke that. So it's up to you to win them back. So you got to be patient. You can't expect them just to say, oh, you're forgiven. It's okay. Let's move on. No, you got to work your butt off to show them that you're going to be faithful, that they are the one and only, and you're in it for the long run. Point blank. So that means you may have to put up with a little bit of crap. You may have to go all out and extra to make sure it works, but that's your responsibility. Remember, you're the one that dropped your pants. Now, the other thing that we need to talk about, when you're involved in infidelity, the person who committed the infidelity, you got to remember, a lot of this is going to be on you now. A lot is going to be on you. So you might have been communicating with whoever you was communicating with, or or got involved in the act of infidelity and cheated with. You're going to have to cut that person off. You are. You got to cut it off. And even if that means on social media, on your cell phone, emails, you should not be communicating with that person. For no reason, you should not be communicating. Now, somebody said, now I know this is a possibility. What if it's the baby's daddy or the baby's mama? Then you know what? Then you're going to have to set something up to where you guys are meeting in a public place. You're going to have to be full disclosure to the person that you're with. Like, listen, I'm going to go pick up the kids. Do you want to come? And that person should say yes. But, or make sure his arrangements are done so that they can feel comfortable with it. You need to do that. So all that stuff that you used to do, the people you used to talk to, and sometimes even your friends will influence you, men and women. Because you got, one of the things that kind of bothered me, because there was this girl that I really liked at one time. I was crazy about her. But the thing about it was she was involved with someone else. She had a boyfriend or husband. It was one. But she had a boyfriend or husband. And I really liked her. Now, my buddy, which I thought was my buddy, because he knew I liked her. And he was like, well, is she married? I said, well, no, she's not married. Oh, yeah, she was married. He's like, yeah, she's not. And he said, no, she's not. I said, no, she's not married yet. And he was like, oh, she's still free game. See, when you got somebody like that tells you stuff like that, you need to be careful. You really need to be careful, because you don't want nobody pushing you up on somebody else. Because if they're telling you to go mess with somebody else's girl, then guess what? They most likely mess with your girl. And you don't want somebody doing that to you. Because I really do believe that when you go and sneak and mess with somebody else's relationship, I believe it's going to come back on you. Karma's going to come back, because you're going to meet somebody you really like. And guess what's going to happen? Somebody's going to do that same thing to you. I mean, even in the Bible, the word of God says it. Do not covet another man's wife, because of the anger will be kindled against you. So I'm a firm believer in that. And, the thing I think people really need to do, you got to have a conversation. And this is going to be a hard conversation to have. But you got to have the conversation of, what is it about that person that made you feel you needed to cheat with them? It could be something as, well, you know what? I just got more compliments. Because sometimes when you get in a relationship, you're with somebody for so long, you just kind of assume they know things. You assume she looks pretty. You assume she knows that you think she looks pretty. You're assuming that she feels like, well, she knows I think she looks good. She knows I think she looks pretty. Oh, she knows I think she does a great job. She knows I'm proud of her for what she does at work. I know she knows that I think she's a great mom. But you got to tell her that. You got to let her know that. And women, it's the same thing with men. You can't assume that your man knows that you appreciate him. that if he goes, make sure the oil is changed in the car. You don't have to worry about the car. He takes care of it. Bills, he takes care of. You know, when you have ideas or things you want to do, he's supportive of you. He spends times with the kids, you know, and he's emotionally there for you. He's physically there for you. You know, he's a man that takes the initiative to learn and is observant about you. And if you don't tell him that, you know, if he's a romantic guy, he's giving you flowers for no reason, cards for no reason, even if he's writing notes or just making videos or voice recordings for you to take and hear as you go to work, for you not to say nothing, and for him to have to come out like 2 or 3 days later, hey, you know, how did you think? Did you get the note? Did you like the recording? Did you like the songs I sent you? Oh, that was nice. See, you're just saying that's nice, but another woman will come back and say like, wow, I really appreciate that, with a hug and with the kiss. And he don't have to ask. She lets him know that she appreciates the attention. So I think men and women, you can't get so comfortable in a relationship that you forget to acknowledge the little things about each other. It's the little things. You got to acknowledge that. And I think sometimes we forget. And you have to be able to have the discussion, like I said, about what is going on with the both of you. What is going on to make a person feel like, oh, you know, I went with this person for this reason, you know, sexually, you know, they did this, or they was a little more spontaneous, and with us is not, you know, so it's just, you got to have that conversation. You don't have to talk about what you did, but just talk about the traits or characteristics of that person that sort of attracted you to them, because your mate may already have that, but they just don't know you like it. So we're about to take a quick break, so we'll be right back with the final thoughts of today's show. Hey, I really appreciate the love. You guys stay with us, and thank you. I love the support, all right? I'm loving it, man, all right? We'll be right back.
Don't even think about it. We got more straight talk just for you.
Envision is a company based on life's journey and sharing life lessons with the world in the form of laughter and reflection. Inspiring people to go after their dreams and not giving up on life. Envision creates inspirational music and motivational speeches designed to motivate all age groups. Visit our website at www.rmviaging.com to hear samples of our music. You will also find motivational articles on our blog page titled New Life, New Mind Blog. We also have a weekly podcast hosted by Reggie called Simply Straight Talk, all on our website at www.rmviaging.com.
We're back with the conversation starter and the voice that works harder. Your host, Reggie.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back for the final thoughts of today's show. And once again, we are talking about cheaters. Should you stay or go if someone cheats on you? You know, I can't say that I understand everybody's reason for cheating. You know, especially if you have somebody that is really good to you, somebody that takes care of you, that's actually being what you need in life. And I think a lot of times we end up losing somebody good who really is the person that we need in our life in exchange for something that we want. And we oftentimes find out that sometimes when you want something, it's not really long term. So getting what you need in life, especially in a relationship, that's what's important. So when you step out and you cheat, you got to understand that there's going to be consequences. I don't condone cheating because I never like to see a person hurt. I never like to see a person feeling, you know, empty and drained and feeling like they've lost their self-confidence and self-worth, because that's what happens when you cheat on a person. They feel like they've done something wrong. They feel like they are less than a person. Now, there are people who honestly mistreat somebody that they're with. And sometimes you will find that people that are mistreated are more loyal, you know, to people that treat them bad than people who treat other people good. But you have to make the decision that if you're going to be with somebody, be with them. If you feel like the relationship is not working or that you're missing something in the relationship, then take time, sit that person down and have that conversation. Give them the opportunity to say, yes, I can give you that, or no, that's not something I can give. And I think the biggest mistake that a lot of people make is they never have that conversation. They never sit down and really say, listen, I feel like I need this, or I want to go in this direction. And sometimes when people don't do that, we assume that the other person is stuck in one pattern. You might be surprised to find out that the person you're with is probably thinking the same thing. Maybe they want to spice up the relationship more. Maybe they want to go out and do things more. Maybe they want to do more things sexually in the bedroom. But you don't know unless you talk to that person. Because when you try to think for them, then you're going to end up making the biggest mistake and probably losing somebody really special. And I always tell people, one of the worst things you can do is assume. Because you got to realize a person could be going through financial troubles in a relationship. They can be going through health issues, which means, they may not be as attentive as you probably want them to be. They may not be as sexually active as you want them to be. But that's where it comes into play that both people have to talk to each other and say, listen, I got this going on right now. So, I'm not really feeling the whole sexual thing, or I'm sorry, I'm not attentive right now. I'm just trying to get back on track. I still love you. I still want to be with you. But like I said, I think the biggest problem is people are too afraid to go up to the person that they're supposed to be in love with, the person they're supposed to be wanting to spend the rest of their life with, and actually tell them, hey, I feel like I'm needing this. I'm not getting this. I'm missing this. Or I feel like you're distracted. You got to relay that information. You got to share that. When you share that type of stuff, you're building something. You're setting a foundation. Cheating and running out with somebody else is not the answer. There are so many diseases going around today. AIDS is still very prevalent. So you got to be mindful of that. And you got to be careful of how you impact somebody else. Because when you hurt somebody, you're changing their life. You never know. You can take somebody who's a really good person, has a good heart, good spirit, will make a great wife or husband, but because of their interaction with you, they decided that love doesn't exist. They become cold, they become bitter, and they become angry, and they take it out on whoever they're with. And if they got kids, they pass that down to their kids. Don't cheat. Be responsible. Be an adult. Learn to communicate. That is the key. And just be honest. If you feel you need to go a different direction or the relationship is over, let that person know. I'd rather you do that than break somebody's heart and put them on the wrong path in life. Hey, this is Reggie Matters with the Simply Straight Talk Show. I really hope you enjoyed today's show. And guess what? We're getting ready to go into season 4. So this is the last episode of season 3. You guys have been great. We're getting some great downloads. I'm getting some great feedback, and I really enjoy it. Somebody asked me about, would I look at having a co-host? And actually, that is something I have looked at for at least since season 2, mid-season 2. I was thinking about that. So it's a possibility. You never know what's coming up in season 4. But hey, once again, thank you guys for all the love, all the support. I really appreciate you guys hanging in there over these years. You guys have been so great. I mean, you have been so, active in the feedback, in the blog, New Life, New Mind. And I just want to thank you so much. And, I know people want to hear another music episode for next year. So I heard you guys. We're working on all that. But hey, you guys stay tuned. This is Reggie Matters right here on the Simply Straight Talk Show.
Thank you for tuning in to today's show. Be sure to subscribe for more motivational topics based on real-life conversations, and don't forget to rate, review, and share our show so we can continue to bring you the best in real-life conversations. Join us next week right here on Simply Straight Talk.